Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. I don't know where you are, so I'm bringing greetings for the entire day. Welcome to another episode of JamTalk. I am Rachel Dulcine, and I am the chair of the Jamaica Diaspora Worldwide Organization Task Force. Logos on the back. During this conversation, we're going to say JD Watt because all that is way too much to repeat constantly during our conversation. So every week, I interview Jamaicans at home and abroad who are doing work that benefit Jamaicans in Jamaica and Jamaicans that live afar. So today I am so excited to have my friend Charmaine Lois. Charmaine and I have known each other a very, very, very long time. And she's, of course, going to tell you about herself, and we're going to talk about the organization that she is a part of. But I'm excited to have her here with me today to talk about an organization that is very dear to my heart. And although Dress for Success Jamaica is located in Jamaica, and normally when I interview organizations, it's organizations that are out of Jamaica. The reason why I chose Dress for Success Jamaica is because Dress for Success is actually a global brand. It is actually in several countries around the world. And the work that Dress for Success Jamaica does, I think it's so beneficial. And it's also a great opportunity for organizations in the diaspora who want to partner, who are interested in the work that they're doing and what they focus on to get involved. So welcome, Charmaine. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you, Rachel. Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
No problem at all. So let's get started. So Charmaine, can you tell the audience a little bit about yourself and your role in the organization?
Okay, first of all, thank you again for having us. It is our pleasure. I will start by saying that I am married. I have a spunky little 6-year-old called Joshua, and I am the CEO / founder of Dress for Success Jamaica. That's the Jamaican affiliate. In terms of who I am, I would say I'm more on the reserved side, the conservative, but what I have is the ability to bring a community, a strong community of passionate women together who are the driving force behind Dress for Success.
I know
Jamaica.
I know that you currently live in Kingston. Is that where you were born and raised, or?
Oh, yes, yes. So I was actually born in Manchester, but I moved to Kingston when I was 2. My family moved to Kingston. And so for the most part of my life, we've lived in Kingston. So this is where I identify.
Okay. So what made you start Dress for Success Jamaica?
So the idea of a Jamaican affiliate of Dress for Success started, I would say, around 2007, when I saw a feature on cable TV about the organization. So it was about an organization that was helping other women and supporting them through the most difficult times of their lives, and helping them to support their families. And I was excited. And at the time, I remember where I was. It was a Saturday afternoon. I was home. I was sitting on the couch, and my fiance was beside me. We're not married, by the way, but he was sitting beside me. And I turned to him and said, Henry, it would be great for us to have an organization like that in Jamaica. And you know what he said to me? Rachel, he said, well, why don't you start it? And I was like, that's a fabulous idea. And so that planted the seed in me. When I tell you, I immediately ran to the computer and I zipped an email off to the CEO. And I was just really excited and passionate about bringing this organization that would help women in Jamaica.
So 2007, so you're 14 years.
Well, I didn't actually get a response straight away.
Okay.
I would say 6 months after
Okay.
was when I got a response from the organization. And so we actually were approved officially in 2009.
Okay.
So it was around about June 2009 was when we
Okay.
officially started here in Jamaica.
So that's about 12 years. Yeah.
Yes.
So you just made your 12th birthday. Awesome. Yeah. So
Indeed.
you're almost a teenager. Next year, be 13.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
you'll be a teenager next year. That is definitely amazing.
It
So
is. It doesn't feel that long, but yes.
I'm sure there are days when you're just like, yes, it feels that way. And then the other days you're like, yeah.
Yeah.
I've known you for most of that time.
Yes,
Like,
yes.
I've known you for most of that time. I met you at a Dress for Success conference
Conference.
in New York. Was it New York?
Yes. Yes, it
It
was
was
New
New York.
York.
We were in New York, and I was volunteering for Dress for Success Baltimore, and I was like, Jamaica, and that's where I met you. So yeah, I think I've known you for most of that 12 years.
That,
Yeah, wow, time does fly.
yes.
So what does Dress for Success Jamaica do?
So we are, well, one of the reasons why I was attracted to the organization, Rachel, in Matthew, I believe it's Matthew 25, verse 43, it says, I was a stranger and you did not invite me in, naked and you did not clothe me, sick and in prison and you did not visit me. So I believe that the organization is doing what the Bible says in clothing the naked, not just physically when they come into us, but emotionally when we build up the self-esteem of the women who come to our organization. So what we do is we provide women who are going for job interviews with that interview suit so that they could look the part and feel the part. When they go in for that job interview and they get the job, then they return to us and we provide them with additional suits. Not only do we provide them with additional suits so that they can maintain that professional image, but we also support them through workshops. We call it career development tools to enable them to thrive, not just in work, but in life, and to help them maintain that job. So, in a nutshell, that's what we do.
So I want to talk a little bit about the suiting process, because that's one of the things that attracted me to Dress for Success as an organization. It wasn't just the empowerment, the literal empowerment of women by, as you said, covering their nakedness, right? So providing them with not just clothing, support, career training, resume reviews, interview skills. If they want to become an entrepreneur, helping to connect them with resources, and not just that, but the actual suiting process is very unique. And so I want to talk a little bit about that, because I know you kind of glazed over that we suit women, but folks, the process and the experience, because that's what it is, the experience of getting suited at Dress for Success, it doesn't matter which affiliate you are in the world, feels like you have entered high-end store and you have a personal shopper who is at your beck and call and providing all the needs that you may have. So it's not just a suit that these women get, right?
Yeah.
So I want to talk about that process and walk us through that process, Charmaine, because I think I want to get folks who are watching this an idea of just how amazing this experience is for a woman who may be at her lowest.
Yes.
Because you guys get from survivors of gender-based violence to women who've been unemployed for a while, to a woman who may have recently lost her job, to maybe a woman whose financial situation may have changed, so she may have even retired and her financial situation has changed and she now has to get to work. So you serve the gamut. So I want you to walk us through what that experience is like for a woman who's coming to get suited.
I must say that having been involved with Dress for Success, the suiting process is one of my most favorite part. So it's about being non-judgmental. So the client comes in because we believe that they are our clients, and we aim to provide them with excellent customer service. So they come in, we ensure that they're comfortable. We ask them their preference. Do they prefer suits? Do they prefer pants rather, or skirts. Then we bring a range of outfits, and we allow them to try the outfits. We provide them with a mirror so that they can see themselves. And we know that they have the perfect suit when they look at themselves in the mirror and they start to smile.
Mhm.
So they may try something on, and even though you think it looks good, when the smile doesn't reach their eyes, we're not there yet. And so our aim at Dress for Success is to ensure that, the face of the client lights up because she's never seen herself. Some women, who have never worn a suit before when they come into Dress for Success. And so it's our ultimate pleasure just to see the transformation from when she came in to when she puts on the suit, and the air of confidence and the boost that she gets just by wearing that perfect suit that suits her complexion, suits her body type, and all of that. So in a nutshell, that's what it's all about. Ensuring that our client leaves with a perfect suit, ensuring that, we give her tips. So once she gets the perfect suit, we simulate the interview session. We ask questions that we know that she will face at the job interview. We will look at the resume, provide tips on how to improve the resume. And that all-encompassing service is what we aim to do. Sometimes we're not able to provide all the services because we don't have all the resources that we need, but we always try to ensure that our clients leave with a smile, with that perfect suit.
Okay, so in addition to the actual suit, are there any other items or accessories that you provide to the woman as well?
Oh, yes, yes. So we may provide accessories in terms of jewelry or a handbag, shoes. Those are some of the things that we provide with our clients, depending on what we have in store.
So it's a full service. I would say it's a full service experience where from head to toe,
Yes.
she's ready to go. She's dressed for success.
Yes, absolutely. I remember this one client that we dressed. It was a young lady, and she'd never owned a suit before. And so she was all smiles. And so I believe we gave her about 3 suits because she was going in for an internship position. So she couldn't believe that she asked, "Do I have to pay for it?" And we said, "No, it's yours to keep. It's all yours." And then, so she took a picture when she went home and she sent it to us, and then she posted it on social media, and she was just so excited. And it was our pleasure. It's always our pleasure to see this response when we provide our service.
And that's really the point of it all, because they're women, not just in Jamaica, but just globally, are normally the poorest when we look at poverty and we look at who it impacts. We know women are highly impacted by that. When we look at other types of social ills, gender-based violence, lack of access to resources, lack of access to proper healthcare, and even though healthcare obviously can cover all the genders, today we're talking about women. We know that women are always caught up in that net of just not having the access to the resources that they need. So to provide a woman with a suit and then she walks away and she feels empowered. Because I've done the suiting and I've listened to women's stories. I mean, women who it had been years they hadn't even looked at themselves in the mirror because they were not comfortable with the way their body was. And you dress them and you give them and you challenge them to take a look at themselves, and they can't stop looking. They stand there, they cry, they express just surprise at how amazing they look. And then just the whole experience, the way that Dress for Success trains us to make them feel. So that woman comes in and she's not in there with 10 other women. She comes in for a suiting and it's just her, undivided attention just on her. And so many women are even lacking just that because we don't take time for ourselves.
Absolutely.
We don't take time for ourselves.
And at Dress for Success, we like to say that we're not giving a handout, we're giving a hand
Yeah.
up. Because with that one suit,
Mm-hmm.
she's able to earn her own income. With that income comes the power to make decisions that are about her future. With power comes influence, as you know.
Mm-hmm.
And with influence, she's able to to be influential in her relationships.
Right.
Maybe she's with a partner that's abusive. So
Right.
now she has influence and she can make the decision that, this is not for me.
Right.
And she has the confidence to leave abusive situations.
She essentially becomes self-sufficient, right?
There you go.
Self-sufficiency. Yeah. She's
Mm.
able to provide for herself in a way. And once again, and I said this in a separate interview I did before, this is not to say that a woman anti-man or doesn't need a man. What this is saying is that when you empower women to be self-sufficient, it encourages confidence, self-esteem.
Mm.
She can make more educated decisions. She just goes about her life and her world differently. Her well-being is different. Like there's just a shift that happens when a woman is able to become self-sufficient, even if she's in a very healthy relationship. There's absolutely nothing wrong with self-sufficiency for women, you know?
Absolutely. And you remember, once you help her, you're not just helping her,
Right.
but you're helping her sons, you're helping
Yep,
her daughters, and by extension, her community.
exactly. And whoever she cares for, exactly. Because lots of times we're caregivers.
There you go.
So what would you say to date? We're talking about now this is 12 years later. What would you say to date is the organization's greatest accomplishment? If you could pick one thing.
Um, we cannot underscore the importance of all the women that we have helped, but I would say our greatest accomplishment is that of energizing a community of women from all walks of life to get Dress for Success Jamaica started.
Mm-hmm.
And about the possibility of what can happen when passion ignites purpose, and you see people who stop their day to day and just pour themselves into giving to others, into helping others.
Mm-hmm.
That I think is our greatest accomplishment. um I'm thinking about our early founding members, with great, passionate women, all leaders in their own right, who were all influential and all part of the Dress for Success Jamaica network, to the current volunteers today
Mm-hmm.
who are supporting us. Women like yourself, who has been a long time.
Yeah.
I know you won't say it, but you and your organization, JVDFF, has been very impactful in supporting Dress for Success Jamaica over the years. And, it's through support such as this where we're able to continue and do what we do and do what we love to do, that of empowering women.
Mm-hmm. And I'm definitely will always be a supporter because empowerment of women is definitely a personal passion of mine. I think it's so important, especially as a Jamaican woman, although I live abroad, is really to do that for my sisters and my sisters in Jamaica. And Dress for Success is 100% volunteer run, right? So there's no employees. So 12 years, volunteers have poured into this organization the entire time, correct?
Absolutely.
Wow.
It has not been easy, especially when you have a full-time job and you have
Mm-hmm.
to balance and you have family. But um, like what I said earlier, it's something we're
Mm-hmm.
passionate about supporting others and helping them to be empowered.
But I mean, to have a 100% volunteer run organization, still thriving, still around after 12 years, I think definitely speaks to the passion, not just the passion, but speaks to the need that this type of organization is needed in Jamaica to help women. So
Absolutely.
on the flip side of success, of the greatest success is you're still here. and you're still going, and you still have volunteers who are engaged. What would you say is one of the challenges that you're having now that we, the diaspora, could support with? I know you probably have a few. What would you say is the one that, oh my goodness, this one's definitely right now a priority?
I would say supporting us through, I would say consistent funding has always been one of our main challenges. Supporting us through projects could be one of the ways the diaspora could help us. One of our dream has actually been that of, being getting us active social enterprise going in terms of having a store, an online store, and also having a commodity. Right now I'm talking with somebody about getting a group of women to make soap and employing women to soap making so that they can be self-employed and they can earn an income. And of course, also to fund what we do as an organization. So that has been our main challenge, I would say, the consistent funding, the ongoing projects to keep us going as an organization.
Okay, so if someone watching this wanted to make a donation to Dress for Success Jamaica, how would they do that?
Well, right now we don't have, they could donate through the Dress for Success worldwide website. We have a portal there, but right now we're in the process of establishing a local website where persons can click on a link and just donate to our organization, and it comes right to our account rather than to the account of the overseas organization. Okay. So we're working on that project as we speak.
So in the interim, on your website, if they click the donate link, it will take them to the worldwide organization where they can still donate, and then you will get
they would forward the funds.
Okay. So if you've watched us every week, you know what I'm about to say. So all the information for Dress for Success Jamaica, if you're watching this on YouTube, the information is going to be below this video. So we're going to have their website, we're going to have their social media page, we're going to have their email address. So however you can get in contact with them, and if you want to make a contribution, if you want to learn more about them, if you have suits, new or gently used suits, and you want to donate them to Dress for Success Jamaica, it doesn't matter where you are in the world, we'll have the information so you can contact them. If you are watching this on social media, the information is going to be above the video. So if you're on Facebook, the information for Dress for Success, website, email, all the information that you're going to need to check them out or to make a donation is going to be above the video. So YouTube, look below. Facebook, check above the video, and you are going to see all their information. Because a part of the reason I started doing these Jam Talks is to galvanize help for organizations that are doing work to help our folks, our people in Jamaica and abroad. And that work cannot continue. It cannot be viable. It cannot last into the future unless we support. Some of the social issues that we complain about, some of the resources that we say don't exist, do exist or can exist. We just need to lend our support to make it happen, right? So I'm going to repeat this again at the end because I still got a couple more questions for Charmaine. But I wanted to make sure that I took the time to let you guys know that the information will be above and below, depending on where you're watching. And then I'll repeat where you can find the information again at the end of the interview. So I want to shift a little bit talking about leadership, because I think when you are a nonprofit founder and you're involved in any way in nonprofit or community work, it somehow always shapes your leadership. Yes. So for you, what is one lesson that you have learned in being a leader of Dress for Success Jamaica?
I believe the most important lesson is that of valuing your team members, especially when, in a society sometimes where people are not valued. I believe when people are valued, then they give their best, um, they give their all. And one of the things, we try to do as an organization is to empower the women that come, the men, the women and the men, because we do have male volunteers as well, by the way, that come to us by empowering them, by having internal, we call it internal empowerment sessions, workshops
I like that.
about, yeah,
Oh, empowerment
about
sessions.
um, how they can use their skills, use their talents um, to propel their career. So that's one of the things I believe, investing in people,
Mhm.
that's important. So I
And I,
believe that's one of the most important thing I've learned.
and I think for most of us as human beings, like we want to know that we're doing something valuable and meaningful. And so I
Absolutely.
think what you're saying is so absolutely important, because if you invest in people in helping them find their own purpose, their own worth, and then using what their skills, what they're good at doing for the benefit of someone else, it absolutely keeps someone connected to an organization. I think it motivates people even beyond their volunteer. That in
Mm,
itself, I would think, and I'm only speaking because I was a Dress for Success volunteer at a point, your own self-esteem is built, your own
absolutely.
pride in what you're doing, connection to the people you're serving in your community, like all that stuff happens because an organization values or puts value in the volunteer and allows them to use their expertise and their skills to better the life of someone else.
Absolutely.
So I think that's definitely a important lesson for leaders. And I've done several of these interviews now, and what you're saying is what we've heard more than once. It's
Mm,
valuing the folks who are helping to make the organization exist, and then allowing people to use their skills, their expertise, um, to make the organization better, to pour into the organization, finding their strengths and helping them and guiding them in how they can use that for the betterment of the organization. So obviously, that we're onto something there.
absolutely.
Yeah, with this organization. And when it comes to leadership, because several leaders I've interviewed have said that that has been their lesson,
Yes.
is understanding the importance of valuing the people that are serving with them and the people they lead.
Yes. I know you only said one, but another very important lesson that I've learned is that you can't pour from an empty cup.
Mm,
And so I have found as a leader that when I need to do some self-care, when I need to step away and just spend some time building myself up, um, I'm not very useful to anyone.
mm,
So until I learned the lesson of ensuring that I'm empowered myself,
mm-hmm.
and that I'm taking care of myself and I'm building myself up, that's when I was the most valuable and I was able to pour into others.
Yeah, that's another one right there. And I struggle with that one. Knowing when my cup is not just empty, but it's dry.
Yes, yes.
So that's another really good one. So on if you could give me an average number, how many women do you think you've served in the last 12 years?
I believe at our last count, we're probably up to about 620 women.
620.
Yes. Ideally, we would have loved to double that number or even triple that number. But we've had some challenges over the years in terms of, location and space. Still have some challenges, but we're always positive. And, we actually started what we do from our car trunk.
Wow.
And so that's how passionate we are about serving others, regardless of what's happening with us, where we are. We want to help. We want to empower.
But you know, Charmaine, 620, that's 620 lives that have been changed. And so to some, that may seem like a small number, or for you, it's like, well, it would have been great to double or triple. But let me tell you, you know, that's 620 lives that have been changed, 620 families that have been changed because they came in contact with you. So I think that number is amazing and phenomenal, considering, you know, the challenges. We know that Jamaica is not, you know, it's not a rich country. So even resources that are available to assist the organization with serving. So even with limited resources, serving at the trunk of your cars, all volunteer based, depending on volunteers to run it. What stands out with that 620 to me is that 620 changed lives. And I think that's a big deal. And that's definitely worth celebrating. I think even if it was just one, and I mean, if it was 1 in 12 years, then we'll definitely have to talk. But even if it's just one, it's that makes a difference. That we talked about, the woman changes her community. So that's 620 communities.
Yes, absolutely.
To change a community, you know what I mean? So I think that's great. And I think as the folks in the diaspora become involved with Dress for Success, organization and Dress for Success, those numbers are going to grow, because obviously the more volunteers you have, the more financial resources you have, you can get a dedicated space, right? That
absolutely.
You can set up and have it so folks can come. You can hire folks and have hours of operation where folks can come in. So this is why it's so important to have assistance from the diaspora, right? Those of us who are Jamaican born or Jamaican heritage in being able to assist an organization like yours.
Yes, right? Absolutely. So
that's 620. That's amazing. And there's still 90 days left of the year. So we shall see. So on that note, then, I've heard several Jamaicans in my own network, in my own family, who've said that they will never come back to Jamaica. They've left Jamaica, and they've left Jamaica behind. If you could take 30 seconds or even a minute to express the importance of Jamaicans living abroad, giving back to Jamaica, being involved with Jamaica, being involved with Dress for Success Jamaica, what would you say? What would you tell them?
I would say that, you know, Jamaica is our home country. You know, this is where this is what has formed who we are as individuals. It has helped to make us into the man or the woman who we are today. And it is important for everyone to give back. You know, I believe it's my personal responsibility to give back to my nation and to my country. And I'm giving back not for the sake of, you know, just throwing money somewhere, but because I believe that Jamaica is a beautiful island with beautiful, wonderful people. In spite of the many challenges we have, you know, there are children, there are young people with so much potential in this little land of ours. You know, we have seen the Usain Bolts, we have seen the Dr. Scotts, we have seen the Shelley Ann Frasers, so much potential coming from this little country, and we continue to shine in spite of the challenges. And so I would encourage the diaspora to give back to Jamaica, give back to Dress for Success Jamaica, give back to the woman who is struggling in knowing what she's going to feed her children, you know, tomorrow. Because I believe that, as the Bible says, when you give, it does come back to you. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. And so once you support a woman, you're not just supporting her, you're supporting her children, you're supporting the community, you're supporting her in nation building. And so that's my encouragement. I hope people are inspired to
Yes,
give to Dress for Success Jamaica and to give back to Jamaica.
that is a great message, an excellent message, and it covers all the points. Just not just the point of it's your homeland. And yes, there's an obligation because part of the Jamaican pledge that we pledge to our country includes making sure that our nation is strong. And you can't do that by turning your back on her. And then your personal responsibility as a human being, right?
Absolutely.
To take care of another human being, to love your neighbor as yourself, to give, to make sure that you are clothing the naked, as you said, visiting those who are in prison, those who are sick. And, if you don't want to go back to Jamaica, as I say every week, that's fine. There are those of us who we will go and do the work. Show your support in other ways. And it doesn't always have to be financial. There are skills and talents that are around the globe that Jamaicans have that you can use for the betterment of Jamaica.
Absolutely.
They're in kind. So if there are supplies that are needed, clothing that's needed, laptops that are needed, you can make a donation of items as well, right? So there are a plethora of ways that you who are watching this today can contribute to any of the organizations that we have featured on JamTalks. And today, Dress for Success Jamaica, for the empowerment of women from all walks of life, but mostly and most importantly, the woman who is at rock bottom. She's at rock bottom. And that's where she finds Dress for Success. And that is where she finds herself. Most of us have our rock bottom stories, right?
Yes.
And so I agree with you, Charmaine. I second, third, fourth, and fifth that message for our Jamaicans at home and abroad, that it's important to get involved and to volunteer. So where can folks find Dress for Success on social media, and how can folks get in contact with Dress for Success?
Okay, so we are on Facebook. So Dress for Success Jamaica on Facebook. And we're also on Instagram. You can contact us via email. It's jamaica@dressforsuccess.org. Or we have another email, dfsjvolunteers@gmail.com. Or you can call me. I'm going to give you my number. It's 876 483 1038.
There we are. And that number you can also reach her on WhatsApp as well.
Yes.
So
yes,
all
absolutely.
the information that Charmaine just said, email, phone number, if that's okay. The website, we know it's under construction, but there's an opportunity that you can give there. Their social media platforms will be attached to this video. So if you're on YouTube, all the information that Charmaine just gave you will be below the video. If you're watching on Facebook, all the information that Charmaine just gave will be above the video. So you'll have an opportunity to check them out, follow up with Charmaine, and find out how you can help her and the organization and that amazing group of volunteers. How can you help them continue to make a difference in the lives of women in Jamaica? So thank you so much, Charmaine, for joining me today on JamTalk.
Thank you so much.
It was great.
It was my pleasure.
You. Yes, it was. It's always good to chat with you. And I am a supporter of Dress for Success Jamaica. I will continue to be a supporter, and in any way that I can use my skills, my expertise, my network to help grow or improve the lives of women, I am there, front of the class. You can count me in. For everyone else, thank you so much for tuning in for another episode of JamTalk. Join me again next week, Wednesday at 8 p.m. on YouTube and on Jamaicans.com Facebook page as I interview another amazing Jamaican doing amazing work somewhere in the world. You'll be surprised. All right. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.
Blessings.